Everyone, and welcome to Mupo and Friends. We are,
Jessilyn Persson,
and I'm Michele Mupo.
and we're brought to you by Mupo TV.
And you can actually catch all of our shows at www.mupotv.com. That's www.mupotv.com. And if you want to know more about our business, you can then go to mupoentertainment.com. Again, that's mupoentertainment.com. And make sure you stay tuned in Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Because I have to say, we've had some pretty cool guests. Even the one last week, again, said something that she didn't, that no one even revealed on other shows and other interviews. So they tell us things that we basically need to know.
Absolutely, yes. Last week's interview was awesome, and the fact that she even pointed out shows, I've never said this to anyone before, and we're like, oh, you heard it first on Mupo. So it is really exciting to watch our shows 2 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. So
So
Michele.
go ahead. Did you have a Mupo awesome week? I gotcha.
I did. All things considering, obviously, we've mentioned before, I am Canadian, and we have so much snow. Like, I'm talking, it's halfway up, if not more than a vehicle. And of course, we grade it, but also the weather has been minus 35, minus 40. But now that's Celsius,
Wow.
although minus 40 at Celsius and Fahrenheit do meet, so they're the same. But we are hitting above zero tomorrow.
So you know what's funny? I'm looking at you. That new lipstick you have, you kind of remind me of like the old 90210 Tori spelling a little bit. But I just thought I'd tell you that. I love that girl.
Thanks.
So so I know you had a Mupo awesome week because you were covered in snow. And I'm gonna say I am very excited that we're getting ready for MupoCon. And you know what's funny? We have how many shows do we have in the can?
40?
There's like 40 people that are coming. So I'm just hoping that all those 40 people come to MupoCon. But in the meantime, MupoCon is going to be in the last week of July or the first week in August. We're going to stay tuned for that date. That's going to be one that you're going to want to attend. And I found out that that is a perfect time to do this because somebody said, oh, don't do it in October. But if you want to get technical, there's too many. And, think about it. People now, if there's all these conventions going on in October, what does that mean? That means less people are going to do things for us here. This is the perfect time. Plus, we get to go on a little vacation with the Mupo familia, right?
That is true.
Yeah, so we have a very special guest coming on, and she's a good friend of mine and a good friend of yours, and I
Yes.
talk to her every day. That's how close we are, and you're just gonna have to stay tuned because we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna bring on this very special guest.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mupo and Friends. Our special guest today is an entrepreneur, restaurant owner, realtor, and author. Having recently launched her international bestseller, Ignite the Entrepreneur, and #1 new release, You Can Do Hard Things. She's an inspiration to others and an asset to her community. Please welcome Cynthia Caughie. Hi, Cynthia. How are you?
I am
Hi,
wonderful. Thank you
Cynthia.
so much. Hi, Michele.
So, for those of you who do know, Cynthia and I talk every day. So this is very special to me because she motivates me, and I want to know what made you decide to buy Home Run Pizza after working there for 13 years, because I think people need to know that you can do anything and you can do hard things.
It was a journey. So, in the Ignite the Entrepreneur book, I wrote my story, and part of my story was two things that really ignited me, right? That really made me want to be an entrepreneur. One thing was just the absolute passion and love I had for the community and that particular location that made me come alive. I used to go there thinking it was like my second home. It was somewhere I wanted to be. I knew everybody. And then the second thing that happened was the Tubbs fire hit Sonoma County. The Tubbs fire was the biggest fire to hit I want to say it was in the United States in over 40 years. And so we lost thousands of homes, but the restaurant prevailed. There was reports that it was gone. There was reports that, the whole complex was gone. And I was devastated. I said, somebody tell me it's not true. Meanwhile, I lost my house. So the emotions of losing my house and really knowing how much Home Run meant to me and what it had given to my life. Just 6 months later, after the fires, the current owner said, you know what? I'm not going to keep it. Do you want it? And I had been there for 13 years. I had seen him through it. I had seen other restaurant owners that were there through the hard times. And I said, you know what? I'm going to throw caution to the wind. I'm going to take a leap with faith, and I'm going to go talk to the bank, and I'm going to see if they give me the money. Because it's not like I have that kind of change in my pocket. So I went to go ask the bank, and they said yes. And as they say, the rest is history.
Wow, that's an amazing story. So the knuckleball, it sounds wonderful. Yes. Can you firstly tell us what it is and how did the idea come about?
So it is ooey gooey goodness. It is our pizza dough stuffed with mozzarella cheese and bacon. And it was the previous owner's son. One day, 13 years old, went into the back of the kitchen, was just messing around and said, hey, can I, use this? It was honestly a pile of scraps. So when we make pizza, we cut the edges. So he just had a pile of scraps. He said, hey, can I use this? They were like, sure. So he literally made it out of scraps of dough from the pizza, and he stuffed it with mozzarella cheese and bacon. And again, as they say, the rest is history. Now, it is something that I want everyone to know about. And my classic line is, have you ever tried a knuckleball?
Well, I actually have not tried a knuckleball, but I plan on getting a bunch of knuckleballs being distributed all around the world. We'll talk about that later. But I want to know, what is the most challenging thing about being a restaurant owner? Because I know we were on the phone a few times and you've had some crazy things happen.
Oh, goodness. On the times when we were on the phone together. It's funny because those times, while challenging in a way physically, like, that are things that need to be fixed, we've had those challenges for sure. The week after I took over the restaurant, the pipes were stuck. Like they were plugged, right? So the water came up through the pipes. So you just learn as you go, right? You take it as it comes. I always say life is 90% what happens to you, 10% what happens to you, and 90% how you react, right? So when you take those things in, you just have to say, what are my options and how can I fix this? My biggest actual challenge in the restaurant is leadership. I grow my leadership lid probably every month. There's something I learn from either John Maxwell or our GSD community. I'm constantly learning and evolving and growing my leadership lid. It is my biggest and most fulfilling challenge of owning the restaurant.
So what did the road look like from making pizza to being a master of inspiration?
It was a surprise. It was a path that just presented itself as I continued to search and to become more than I was. One of the biggest things that pulled at me was I wanted more. There was something telling me inside there is more. And I do write this in my book as well. Part of my journey, I was thinking, okay, I'm a restaurant owner now. So I had bought the restaurant in June of 18. And so I started to say, okay, after a year in 19, I've done everything. I sleep, eat, breathe, pizza, everything. And I said, okay, I've reached my top. there's got to be more. I can't do any more because this is all I know. But I kept saying there's more. So I was introduced to the 10X community. Then I was introduced to what a coach looks like. I had never had a coach in all of my life. I didn't even do sports. So I couldn't even say that I had a coach in that aspect of my life. But to actually be open and say, yep, I need help. So I reached out and I hired Ken Jessilyn as my business coach in the GSD community. He started that. And it really showed me how to think bigger, how to do more, and just be better. Every day I learn and every day I get better. All of these quotes that I say and the mantra that I live by is by being open and asking for help. I don't know everything, but I know that there's more, and I know that I can always be better. And so when I said that and I realized that, I said, why doesn't anybody teach us this? And so I gained a passion for sharing it with everybody. And that's how the book came about. You can do hard things.
Awesome. Now, what obstacles did the pandemic present to you that you had to tell us how you overcame them?
Oh man, Michele, I live in California.
It was bad there, I heard.
Oh, it's really bad. It's really bad. And my beliefs, I believe you have a choice. And right now, that is one of my biggest obstacles, staying firm to what I believe and embodying that in the restaurant. Does that make sense? Because
yep.
You can hear all the news. You can hear, the judgments from this person, the vaccinated, the not vaccinated, the why are you doing this? And how come you're not doing that? And so there's a lot of obstacles, I'm not even going to lie, for being in the pandemic and being a restaurant owner. But one of my things I always say is, don't think about what you can't do. Think about what you can do. So I try not to manifest all of that bad that's going around. When you say I'm an inspiration, I truly dig deep and I believe that I'm contagiously optimistic. It's going to get better. We have to get through it. How can we get through it? We can get through it by being the light that everybody else needs in the world, because fear is everywhere. And so that's honestly probably my biggest obstacle. And it's not only from me, it's transferring it to my team. It's having my team bring it to the community, and then the community spreading it out to everybody else. You know what I mean? Yep. So when I say contagiously optimistic, I say it in a way where I want to give it to other people.
That's absolutely. So you talked about your biggest obstacle during the pandemic, and we all face many difficult challenges. Which was your most difficult challenge, and how did you pull yourself out of it?
I'm a strong-headed Italian. So I would think one of my biggest challenges is asking for help. I'm an independent woman. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mom of 3. Don't tell me I can't do it. And then I changed my perspective. I changed the fact that I don't want to do it on my own. I want more. And if I want more, I have to ask for help. Huge, huge turning point. That's when I found that I needed a coach. And it really opened up my eyes, and it really, honestly, opened up a whole new world. I talk about affirmations a lot. I don't know if we're going to get to that, but if we don't, I'll share when you want me to. They're important, and they're very, very impactful and powerful, and people just don't know about them.
Well, you're a big part of Mupo Entertainment, and I know you spoke about what led to you writing You Could Do Hard Things. You still do hard things, right? Tell us like 3 things this week that you did. That that were very hard, because I know every day you do something, just because people don't know. People are like, they second guess themselves. So it's like this: if I say I'm going to do it, I do it. Explain a little bit, like, give me one thing that you did that this week that was just a little off center that normally no one else would do.
Normally no one else would do. I'm really proud of myself for turning my mindset. The whole reason why the book title is You Can Do Hard Things is because you have to talk to yourself. When you think something is hard, you have to talk to yourself and say, I know it's hard, but I can do hard things. Because it's all, again, in how you look at it. And it really changed my whole thought process. My conversations are different. My thoughts are different. My intentions are different. So I would say something that I still continue to be challenged with is my team. The way people talk is negative. It's because of all of the things that they're receiving. It's all of the things around us. And I challenge them, and it's hard, and they don't really like it. They look at me, they'll bring me a problem. I don't want the problem. I want the solution. I had a meeting yesterday, and I have an employee, and she brought me 3 things, all in a negative way. The third time I looked at her and I said, how can we make that better? And I'm challenging them, and I'm challenging myself. And when we do that, I mean, you guys know, again, our subconscious comes back and it plays and it plays and it plays and it plays. You can do hard things. You can rewire those thoughts. You just have to learn how. And part of that is affirmations.
Amen. So, thank you for that. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
With Cynthia Caughie. Cynthia, you said set the type of goal that will make something of you when you achieve it. Can you give us an example of that type of goal?
This is a good one. I like this question. So I believe intentionality is huge, right? Every day I learn and every day I get better. So one of my goals is leadership development. I write it in my personal goals every day, but it's not just writing it, it's taking the actions to be better. I'm reading the 21 Law or Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. Well, I'm not only reading it, I'm having my manager read it as well. So we're doing it together. We're walking through the process together. So when I set a goal like that, at the end, right, I will have learned and I am better for it. I'm teaching myself along the way, along with guiding and helping my manager grow her leadership lid as well.
That's perfect. So what's the best advice that you could give someone who's, who doesn't know how to start?
I didn't really know when my whole journey started what I was doing. I just had this nagging pull for more. Like the question of your why haunted me. And in all honesty, it probably still haunts me, but I would say, listen to yourself. If there's a nagging in you, if there's a question, if there's a feeling of, I'm not sure what this is, just be open to explore it. So many times we think about, nope, I can't do this. No, I shouldn't do that. So-and-so doesn't like this. My mom said, no, I can't do that. Well, just sit for a second. This is one of the first things I say in my book. There's a quote. It says, sit with it, sit with it, sit with it. And you really learn to listen to yourself, because so many times we just we push it away, or we kind of poo-poo it away. That's my technical term. And it's just to be confident enough in yourself, and it's a challenge. That's a huge challenge. I have been having lots of conversations with people, and I have found that one of my gifts is just asking that question. Well, what do you want? And a lot of people don't know what they want. They haven't taken the time to sit with it and really figure out what they want. So I think that's super important. Really, really important.
I'd agree. It is important. What do you mean by be intentional?
This is a good one. Everybody goes about their life, I'm going to say willy-nilly, another one of my technical terms. The tagline to my book is being proactive with your growth and not reactive with your life. I learned through this process that I have a planner. So if I intentionally map out my day, if I say I'm going to do these particular 5 things, I will get those 5 things done. I'm not perfect. It doesn't happen every day, but being intentional and setting the expectation for what I'm going to get done, it could be anything. It could be a conversation. I've learned that when I set that intentionality of what I want to get out of the conversation, like going into it, like even right now, our interview, I set the intentionality that I was going to be authentic and calm. I didn't want to be too overexcited. I didn't want to be too stoic. I was like, I want to show people my personality. So as we're going through the process, I'm checking with myself. I'm like, am I doing what I said I was going to do? Am I doing what I said I was going to do? And it's the same thing in the restaurant. It's a thought process for me almost. The intentionality is saying something to my manager and then following up with it. It's not just saying it. It's actually doing it, being intentional from your words to your actions to get you to that result that you want. That's what intentional is for me.
All right, I got another question. How big a part does gratitude play in achieving your goals? Tell the audience.
It's huge. Gratitude changed my life. I put it in my book because it's so huge. And again, nobody ever taught me. Nobody opened up that door. Nobody said to be grateful. I didn't grow up with religion in my life. I didn't grow up as a Christ follower, which is what I like to say now because it's different. It's more spiritual. And so the gratitude for me, I do it every day. I sit and I center myself. I don't have it in front of me, but you can take any book. It doesn't matter. It's having that feeling in your heart. And I have learned how important your heart is that guides you for so many things in your life. You could use your head, but if you use your heart, you get a lot further. And so if you start with gratitude in the morning, and I start every gratitude journal with the same sentence. And it's funny because I just went back yesterday and I was looking for something in my gratitude journal. I had written something else in there. And I had noticed in the very beginning, I didn't start with that. And so it kind of evolved, And so the statement that I say is gratitude is acknowledging the pure joy of what's in my heart. So I say that at the very beginning of every gratitude journal entry. And then I use gratitude also in times where I might have a setback or I'm feeling heavy. I want to say, there's a lot going on and I need to recenter and I need to remember what I'm grateful for and try not to have those other things of the world and of my life and what's happening take too much space in my heart. Recenter on what I'm truly grateful for. But it really has changed my life. And I tell people all the time, if they don't have one, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be 5 sentences, but just start doing it. And it evolved for me quite a bit. So it's huge. It's important. It's really, really important.
So can you tell us how we can spark inspiration in others?
Well, I mean, inspiration can come from anywhere. Coach calls it pray drive. He says, mind, heart, body, and spirit. And you have to do things to activate it yourself. So you can't just expect it to happen. I think exposure is huge. It's learning things that you didn't know about before. So inspiration, I really think that how it can spark inspiration is, just digging inside you and knowing, that you have everything you need inside of you. So how does it spark the inspiration? I think that it grows, and as it grows and you lean into it, and your heart becomes full, that's part of the inspiration. Did I answer the question?
You sure did. Thank
love
you. We're going to take a commercial break and we'll be right back.
With Cynthia Caughie. Now, Cynthia, I need to know who inspires you and how they inspire you.
Again, we just talked about exposure. I think people who are doing, I want to say big things, but yes, big things. Who inspires me? Coach Bird inspires me. He's huge. He has these concepts and he speaks in a way where I told you before, I'm Italian, I'm redhead, I'm kind of hot-headed. He cuts through all that. Like, it's not about the cushy this and the cushy that, and you got to do it this way. And I talk about my heart, but there's also that thing that just says, do it, just do it. And so he has something, and sometimes when I need a little inspiration, I say this to myself because it gets me moving. And it's, we don't whine, we don't complain, and we don't make excuses. We get up, we show up, we grow up, and we deliver. And it sets my mindset to, okay, what do I need to do today? How do I need to get to these goals that I have, right? So the inspiration comes from me, one from him. And again, so let me back up just a second. I do a morning routine. The morning routine, I did get it from Coach. He wrote a book called This Ain't No Practice Life. It was one of the best books and one of the first books I ever read on this whole entrepreneur journey, this whole self-development journey. So in the morning, I activate my pray drive. And the pray drive is something, it's Coach's, it's his concept. But this is how you do it. It's mind, body, heart, and spirit. And you feed all 4 parts of those, and it ignites you so that you're in this high state. And so that's part of my inspiration. You have to do that for yourself. If you don't know how to do that for yourself, then that's the part where you need the exposure to learn. If you don't know yourself well enough, then you can't ignite that for yourself. People look for quick fixes. They look for the 5 steps. How do I do this? How do I do that? Well, if you can't do it on your own, there's no way you're going to get through those 5 steps. So the inspiration for me is learning how to inspire myself. But I did that through exposure. I learned how to do that on my own. We talked about it one time, Michele. Something it sparks me is just putting on my song. I have 2 songs that I go to, and it raises my vibration. And I just have this overwhelming sense of pride, which I know a lot of people don't love pride, but I do. And I'm Italian and that's me. And I just say, I'm on fire and this is what I'm going to do. And that's where my inspiration comes from. But I do look to coaches and people who are doing bigger things than me. How did they do it? I'm to a point where I have four coaches. And I started with none. And I had never had a coach my whole life till I was 39.
About your recent extension of Home Run Pizza, Home Run on the Go.
I'm really excited. I tend to surprise myself. Sharon Lechter said in her book, Think and Grow Rich for Women, it was a redo for women. And it gave something that really, really helps me. Take a leap with faith. So I wrote in my goals every day that I wanted to have a second location of Home Run Pizza. Well, the pandemic.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Gotta do it in New Jersey.
Well, it has wheels. I can take it anywhere. But I just, I had it in my head that I wanted a second location. There were several opportunities where I could have done it. And I thought to myself, it's just not the right time. Something didn't feel right. So I didn't proceed. So I kept thinking about it. I write it on my goals every day. Second location, Home Run Pizza. I actually write franchise/second location. And during the pandemic, we were closed inside. So I said, okay, how about instead of the people coming to us, we go to the people? And so it's actually really big in California. Our food truck are everywhere. We have them at wineries. We have them at breweries. We have them at festivals, just locations. And so I thought, why not? So we went on a quest. I had a manager at the time. She did a lot of legwork. We looked everywhere. There was anything from, a 10-footer to ours is 28 feet.
What?
Ours is 28 feet long. So,
Wow.
I said, this is it. This is our opportunity. It was the right price. It was local, which was huge because there was places where we had to drive and we had to go out of state. And we were like, oh my goodness. And so this one came up and I said, you know what? It's meant to be. And I took a leap with faith and said, yes, I can. Yes, I can. And so we did it. And I'm very proud to say that last year we did 23 events, and that's darn good in the middle of COVID. Winter, we slowed down. So we really went for 6 months. And so we're ready. We're ready now at the beginning of the year. We're ramping back up. We're going to do some marketing and I'm really excited. We have a little bit of a new way of thinking in who we're marketing to. Sonoma County has a lot of big manufacturers that some people don't even know about, that we're going to really cater to. So it was a big, big leap with faith.
So it's 28 feet. You could actually live in 28 feet and travel around the world. So why don't we? So I'm going to put this out to the universe before we take another commercial break.
I know.
Because I would do a truck. I would definitely do a truck. Are you kidding me? That would be awesome. Just to go out and go drive around like the ice cream man. You know what I mean? Be like, hey, come on, get your Home Run Pizza and get them knuckleballs now.
And then I'd teach you how to say it. Have you ever tried a knuckleball?
Have you ever tried a knuckleball? Wait, the best is what you do is good morning every day. I think you should patent that. So I'm just telling you, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with our special guest.
Cynthia, before we wrap things up, we have one last question. If you were to interview yourself, what would the question be and what would the answer be?
This is funny because I remembered this last night because I've seen the interviews several times. And I thought about it as I was going to sleep. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? I don't know. But here, I'm gonna do it right now. So if I was to interview myself, in all honesty, I would ask myself, how do you build your mental toughness?
Wow.
Well, because I have found that it is absolutely crucial. This world is mean. It'll knock you down. It'll take the fight out of you. It will keep you down as long as you will let it. And so the mental toughness, so the answer is, how do I keep my mental toughness? It's a constant working the muscle. That's what coach calls it. Chop wood and carry water every day. You cannot let up on your self-development, on growing you, becoming the best version of you. And how do I do that? I do that by exposure. I do it by constantly learning. And then what I do is I share it with other people. And that's how I keep my mental toughness. And you can grow that. I believe you can strengthen your mental toughness. If you had 0 today, if we did it together in 6 months, you would be a lot stronger. It's how you get back up.
Amen.
Awesome. Thank you. It's been a treat visiting with you. Look for Cynthia on YouTube channel, Cynthia Caughie. You can also purchase her book, You Can Do Hard Things, at her website or on Amazon.com. You can follow, like, and subscribe to Cynthia on Facebook under Cynthia Caughie, at Cynthia Caughie, and at Home Run Pizza Larkfield on Instagram, at LinkedIn under Cynthia Caughie, and at her website, www.cynthiacaughie.com and www.homerunpizzalarkfield.com.
And always, thank you for joining into Mupo and Friends, courtesy of Mupo TV. And you can catch this show and many others at www.mupotv.com. That's www.mupotv.com.
This is Jessilyn Persson with our host, Michele Mupo. Until next time.
Have a Mupo awesome week.
Ladies, you are Mupo awesome. Thank you so much.
You rock.
Ooh.